I said I was roller skating. Well, that didn't faze them much. Then they said, where were you roller skating? I said, a bar. They said, oh, we got your number. We know what happened, but of course it didn't. You don't roller skate when you've been drinking. At least, not for long. Not for long, but they were all smelling my breath, but of course I didn't drink. You don't drink and roller skate. Okay, we've got a really nice group of comedians here, and we've got a small but wonderful crowd, I'm very proud and happy to say. Here's my menu for the evening. Okay. Oh, it was quite nice, though, because, you know, you don't get nervous when you're in the hospital. I mean, when you're performing and you're unconscious. No nerves whatsoever. They can tell you I was wide-eyed. Let me worry, Alfred Newman. They finally settled me down around 5 o'clock in the morning after the CAT scan and all like that. And then the nurse, because by that time, the euphoria sets in. That's the scary thing. Nothing is at all scary anymore. And it makes you very horny, by the way. Is Mom in the room? It does. I want them all, girls. Would you mind going to the ladies' room? You know how girls go to the ladies' room, not one by one. The whole crowd, right? Okay, so about 5 in the morning, the nurse was so nice. They are nice at Hamilton Hospital. Anybody ever been there? Nice people, right? So about 5 in the morning, I'm feeling giddy, and thank God that I'm still alive. The nurse said, and I drink a lot of water. I hissed at her. I said, I will not fish fucking it. She wasn't ready for that 5 in the morning. They will not forget me. As long as there's one brick on top of another brick, I do have a legend over there. I arrived there last last June. I had just done a mini marathon in New York. Anybody into marathoning and running? I did it! I'm so proud. The Legs Mini Marathon. And you get a medal that says, who says women can't run the world? I would have gone to Egypt for that sucker. Of course, I spent the next week in the hospital with pneumonia. What the hell? But it's so nice, the camaraderie. I mean, I was going in there a respectable last, you know. I'm doing it in there saying a good race. Every mile you get water. God almighty, you feel like Gerda Weitz, you know? So I'm dumping the water on me, getting chilled. Dumping some more water another hour, getting chilled like heck. So, but everybody on the sides is saying, come on, you can make it, you know, and I am. I'm going down. I go faster than anybody in the world. So I got there. So everybody's saying, hey, great lady, you're doing fine. So all of a sudden, towards the end of the race, I'm tired. This little girl I was with, 11 years old, she's running 35,000 feet ahead. But I saw this back here, this 75-year-old woman, if she was a day. And I thought, all these people were so darn nice to me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to encourage her, women helping women. So I said, oh, come on, just a little bit more. You can make it. She comes past me about 5,000 miles an hour and says, it's my second time around, stupid. I was so embarrassed. But at least that's another trip. I can hardly wait till I go back to Hamilton Hospital for a rest. No, when they're rest, they have the nicest nursing staff, the nicest, sexiest doctors in the world. You see, I used to have a lover from India, and now at Hamilton Hospital, all they've got is Indian doctors. This girl over there, her sister used to be president of Business and Professional Women's Club. Wait till she hears some of the stuff I'm saying. Well, anyway. I forgot who was in the audience. They're going to know what I did when I went to Temple University, aren't they? Yeah, you know who else went to Temple University? Come on, tell me, who else? Bill Cosby, David Brenner, and Patricia Carolyn. I think I gotta go just a little bit more before the world knows who the heck I am. But I'm starting out. Okay, now, my comedians are down there. And there's one over here. I gotta tell you something about this man. His name is Paul Plummer. He's one of the most interesting and shall I say, the best raw talent that I've ever seen perform. He really has it. He was born funny. He is a very serious person. He had to swim all the way from Cuba to Florida to get here. He is known as the best comedian in Castro's wonderful place of Cuba. And at this time, I would like to pardon me, the concussion's still working, and the stay for the teeth ain't. But anyway, the best comedian that Cuba ever produced, Paul Plummer. Let's give him a big round of applause. Come on, Paul.
Give a shot.
No, I don't.
Do you want me to do this in Spanish or in English? Which is easier? You know, it doesn't matter. Italian? Yo no parlo italiano, ¿verdad? Solamente el español, ¿verdad? Anyway, as you can see, as Pat said, I'm really not from Cuba. I'm an American. I speak Spanish and a little bit of German. But we came in the back door tonight. I like to come in the stage door because what we call the stage door. I keep looking for comic groupies, but it's tough. And I can say that because my wife's not here tonight. Anyway, as you can see, I'm old, and I'm getting bald. Not often enough, but we work on it. Think about it. Anyway, I am married, and I have a daughter. She's going to be 19 in a couple of weeks. She goes to Bucks County Community College. Buck you, they call it over there. That's the truth. Drives the relatives nuts because they say, where you go to school, Pam? Buck you. They say, ooh, what kind of parents do you have, right? So, anyway, my wife, she plays a lot of tennis, so she's out quite a bit, and the kid's out with her boyfriend, which is another story. And so I watched some television, and my wife was really nice to me. She's given me 2 gifts in my life that really matter to me. The first one was a hydraulic floor jack, and the other one, it's true. The other one is a VCR. It was last Christmas, a VCR with a remote control, right? 27 shows at the same time. It's great. I've gotten to the point now I can go like this, right? You go to answer phone, like that. Somebody comes to the door, the porno movie's on, it's off, just like that. But anyway, I've learned now that this is one of the greatest inventions in the world because you can hear Larry Kane say, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back to tell you about those aliens going around the country giving out gold bars and everything. So we'll be right back. Go on, right? You go to something else. You can watch, you know, 8 is Enough or whatever else it is. But unfortunately, now the networks are getting wise to this. They want you to watch the commercials. So what they're doing is they're synchronizing all of the newscasts and all the other programs. So you're sitting there going, we'll be right back, we'll be right back, we'll be right back. They know what's going on, right? But anyway, if you want to drive, I don't know about you guys, if you have a VCR, most women that I know, they hate them. They hate the remote controls especially. Because my wife says, what are you watching, dear? Well, I'm watching The Equalizer, St. Elsewhere, Channel 29 News, the Financial News Network, and the Independent News, right? Huh? Well, I'm not watching television if you're going to switch the channels all the time. I said, okay, now this is weird. It's great. Dear, I'll tell you what. All right, I'll be nice. What do you want to watch? She says, well, I want to watch St. Elsewhere. I said, okay, fine. I promise. Okay? So she goes in, she makes the pop. We have a new microwave now, right? And that's the in thing now with the microwave popcorn. 3 seconds, you have microwave popcorn. She goes in, makes some popcorn, comes out, gets the Diet Pepsi, sits down, starts munching, lights a cigarette. She's all settled. That's it. I'm going upstairs. Forget it. I'm not watching with you anymore. Drives her crazy. But I do like to watch television. I like to figure out where they get the names for the actors, you know, for the characters on the show. It's Crime Story. Have you seen Crime Story yet? This is a great show. It comes on after Miami Vice. And thank God I have a VCR because I can tape it tonight and see it tomorrow morning. But does anybody know the name of the lieutenant on Crime Story? I mean, this is a tough name. Mike Torello, right? Lieutenant Mike Torello. You know what the actor's real name is? Dennis Farina. Where's Lieutenant Farina? He's out having breakfast, you know, something like that. Think about that one for a minute. But anyway, my favorite, you see there are 2 guys in Hollywood or New York or whatever, wherever they do this stuff, That's all they do. Their job is to sit down and think of names for TV characters. One of my all-time favorite shows is Hawaii Five-0, right? Now, just when the show starts, they run through the list of characters, and of course it is Jack Lord as Steve McGarrett, right? James MacArthur, Dan Williams. Cam Fong is Chin Ho, Zulu is Kono. Now, who cares about that, right? What, is Cam Fong a bad name for a policeman, so they make it Chin Ho? I don't understand that. Think about that one. Zulu, Kono, what's the difference? But, as I said, I watch a lot of television. My wife's out playing tennis a lot. She works at a tennis club. She plays a lot of tennis, works out on Nautilus and all this stuff. Kid's out with a boyfriend. And about, I guess, a couple years ago, I decided, I'm sitting there watching TV. I said, oh my God, I'm 40 years old. Now, something happens to you when you're 40. You say, oh, geez, where's my life going? I haven't done anything. See, somebody knows. This guy knows, right? It's true, isn't it? Midlife crisis. Sure. I said, geez, the house is almost paid for. That's wonderful. The kid's in school. She's out, everything. I'm sitting here. I'm not accomplishing a thing. Well, what can I do? I think, what did I really want to do when I was a kid and never was able to do? I wasn't allowed to ride motorcycles. You know, mothers, you're not riding one of those things, you know. For my dead body, I'm not going to say it. So anyway, what I decided to do, I was going to learn to fly an airplane, okay? I remember watching the movies when I was a little kid. See, I grew up during World War II, and right afterwards, the first televisions were, what, 47, 48, 50, right around in there. They're showing old World War II films all the time with, like God Is My Co-Pilot with Dennis Morgan and Richard Liu. Remember Richard Liu? No, he was the Japanese guy. He had one line in every film. You die, Yankee dog. That was the only one. He died a few years ago. He's the one who follows Dennis Morgan. Dennis Morgan is his P-40 diving, and Richard Liu comes up behind him and says, you die, Yankee dog. Morgan pulls his flaps, you know, that's it. It's great. And I used to go out to the airport with my parents. You know, back in those days, you went on Sunday drives. You went out into the country. Places like, you know, Hopewell and things like that, or outside Philadelphia where I grew up. And there's these little airports, and I would watch these guys fly these little airplanes. Oh my God, someday I'd love to do that. So I'm 40 years old then, and I said, I'm going to do this. Well, I figured it's pretty easy. It's got to be pretty easy because on these movies, stewardesses fly 747s, you know, when the pilots pass out and everything. It must be easy. They do. I saw it. Sure they do. And I said, well, what's the first thing I have to have before I learn to fly an airplane? Okay? Somebody always says, it's an airplane, you idiot. You know, of course it is. Well, you rent one of those. But first of all, before you get anything going, you have to have the right stuff, the right equipment, right? Now, my wife plays tennis, so she has 14 tennis rackets, 72 warm-up suits, and is the Imelda Marcos of the tennis shoe set. All right? She's got enough tennis shoes. They're all over the place. So I said, I have to go out and get the right stuff. So the first thing you go out and buy is you have to buy the pilot coat. All right? And it has to be a real one. It has to have little epaulets up here and everything else. Then you need pilot sunglasses, Ray-Bans. Couldn't find them in a prescription, so I had to go out and buy contact lenses so I could wear the damn sunglasses to look cool. Then I got the license plate for the front of the car that says, what? I'd rather be flying. Right? I haven't been off the ground yet, but I'd rather be flying. So then I had to get a sticker for the back of the car, the AOPA sticker, Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association sticker. The only problem with that is it has little wings on. It looks like a Harley Davidson sign. These guys going to, hey man, that's cool, you know? You want to ride my bike? Get out of here. All right. So anyway, I went over to the airfield. Now the airport where I learned is, well, it's like the airport that time forgot. It's over on the Hopewell, Lawrenceville Road, somewhere over there. It's a little 2,000-foot grass strip. You can always identify it because there's an airplane right at the corner with a tree growing through it. They have some old ramshackle hangars. So I found an instructor, and he had an airplane. So I figured this is going to be easy. This airplane is a 1946 Aeronca Champion. It looks like a Piper Cub, only it's a little smaller. And I figure, what is there to this, right? Grab a little stick, you push forward, you go down, you pull back, you go up, you turn a little right rudder, you go right and left and everything else. So we jump in the airplane, you hand prop the thing, jump in, go down the end of the runway. Oh, I'm going to be a pilot, man. This is great, right? Taking off sideways is not fun, I'll tell you that. Boy, what a trip. But it's not as easy as everybody thinks it is. You have to study, you have to pass a written test and all these things. But I went through it. And am I that bad? No. Yeah. I always think, every time a fire engine goes by, I don't think where I am, I think it's my house, right? Oh, God. So anyway, I went through some experiences and had a good time. I learned how to fly and I got my license. Now, what I'm going to tell you is an absolutely true story. This happened a couple years ago. There was a guy who was learning to fly when I was learning to fly, and he used the same airplane. And he was a little older than I was. He was going through the same midlife crisis, I guess. And one Sunday afternoon, it was a beautiful day, I said, I'm going to get dressed up like a pilot. I'm going over to the airport, jump in the airplane, and go to another airport and land and watch all the people say, oh my God, here comes a pilot. You know, that's great. So I get my little pilot coat on, my little glasses, and I hop in the car, and I go over to the airport. I get there, no airplane. Where's the hell the airplane? I don't know. The guy say, I said, Frankie, where's the airplane? He said, old Mike took it. I said, oh, great. Where did he go? He went to Millville. Now, Millville, New Jersey is down near the Delaware, what do you call that thing where the Delaware opens up like this, the river at the end, mouth of the Delaware. That's good. The bay. Delaware Bay. Thank you. Okay. Something like that. So I said, okay, that's pretty easy. You just go out to the ocean, take a right, go to Atlantic City, and take another right, and you're there. So he should, when did he leave? He left 47 minutes ago. See, now, if you're a pilot, you got to be very precise. You can't say about 45. It's 47 minutes ago. So I said, okay, 47 minutes. It takes about 43 to get down there. 45 back. He should be back any minute, right? Yeah, it should be. 3:30, no mic. 4:30, no mic. 5:30, no mic. I said, man, I'm not going to get a chance to be cool today if he doesn't get back soon, because it gets dark about 7:30. Pretty soon, about 6:35, off in the distance, here comes this little yellow thing, you know. He comes in, turns the final, makes his landings, all three of them, and bounces over. I'm not kidding, it's true. Bounces over. I said, Mike, where in the hell were you? He said, I got lost. I said, what do you mean you got lost? You went out, you go out to the ocean and take a right, blah, blah, blah. He said, well, I got down there, I got over the pines, because I was really lost. I saw this runway, had an X on it. You never land on a runway with an X. You know, it's terrible. It could collapse or it's broken. But he landed. He said, oh, he has some other stories about him, too. So he said, well, I landed there, and there were two guys working on a truck. And I looked around, I didn't see anything else, so I got in the airplane and took off again. He said, about 25, 30 minutes later, I thought I saw Millville. Sure enough, it was. I landed, got some more fuel, and I found my way back. I said, Mike, so why didn't you just ask those guys working on the truck where you were? He said, how would they know? They're not pilots. That's a true story. True story. But anyway, have you all in here been in an airplane? Everybody been in an airplane? Does anybody fly one? No. Last week I had a couple of pilots in the audience. We had a good time. Well, if you've been in an airplane, you've probably hit what they call turbulence, right? Anybody hit turbulence? CAT, they call it, clear air turbulence. Ranges from light chop, moderate chop, heavy chop, and just wild and crazy. There is no such thing, folks. I mean it. There is no such thing. On these long flights, you notice if it's turbulence, always on a long flight, the guys in the cockpit are just getting a little tired, right? Bored. It's true, right? You can see this now. You ready, Jack? Yeah, let's go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please return to your seats and fasten your seat belts? We're going to experience a little turbulence. He waits 3 seconds. That's great. That's great. It's true. That's what they do. In fact, if you read the newspapers or listen to the news or whatever, about a month ago, I guess it was, they announced that on these long flights, transcon flights, and flights over to London and places like that, and some of the flight crews, they'll zap that sucker on autopilot, tracker. I mean, it'll take you wherever you want it to go, boop, boop, and you go. They decide they're going to take a nap, right? Confidence builder, isn't it? Here you got the left seat, the captain, that's left seat, that's pilot talk. Right seat is co-pilot, and the flight engineer. They're all zonked out. One flight to LAX, went out, missed LA. Guys are halfway to Hawaii. Where are we? What? Hawaii? Oops. The FAA is taking care of it, though. Really. They have snooze alarms in all the cockpits now. Denver? Okay, forget it. We're done. But anyway, the guys that I do admire, I've always wanted to be a commercial pilot, but my eyes were not good enough. And you have to have good eyes to do that. You have to build thousands of hours. But the guys are the people. I have to say people now because there's women doing this job too, both pilots and in the control towers. Now, a lot of times I go into Trenton, Mercer County. Real busy airport, right? A good day, 3 planes maybe, I don't know. They took United away, right? That was a big deal for the Ewing Township people. That United 72, that's a 727 in pilot talk. I call them 72, 73s. What's a 747? This is a quiz. 74? Good. People, right. What's a 10?
Me?
No, honey, come on. Kidding. What's a 10? A DC 10. Woo, good. A 76, 767. See, you learned something. Now you can go home tonight and say, I learned something tonight. So anyway, Ewing, I was at Twin Pine, that's that little airport, and one night, it was getting a little bit dark, and I think they used to fly a 7-2 in at night, a 7-3 in the afternoon, but 7-2 at night, I said, I'm going to stop at Trenton and watch the big one land. Okay? Figured something to do. On my way home, I pull into the parking lot. There are campers, beach chairs, guys lined up along the hill with radios, listening. It was like a big party, right? This is what you do in Ewing for fun, I guess. They had, this is the truth, they had cards there. The guy landed, he missed the first turnoff. 5-6, sorry, no good. That's the truth. That actually happened. They had a reputation out in Chicago. I was talking to one of the pilots that they knew about Trenton. They called it the Hill. They had guys there giving scores. But anyway, Mercer, it doesn't handle too many planes now, and I like to go in there because it's nice. You know, you're over Princeton, you call and you say, Trenton Towers, Cessna 6460 Foxtrot, over Princeton, landing Mercer with Sierra. Hey, Paul, is that you? Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, come on in, park anywhere. We'll do lunch, you know? But one of the centers, you want to learn something else now?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I got a plant out here. There's what they call centers and there's control towers. Now, the radar center is a little different than the control tower. And they have guys, one of my favorite places is the Miami Center, okay? Now, Miami control tower, if you are a pilot, you are allowed to go into these control towers. When I was in Spain, I had to talk my way into the one in Malaga, almost missed the damn plane, but that was a trip. You go up there, hey man, you coming in, whiskey 657, okay, go ahead. Well, you go to Miami, it's even better. They have radar screens with all these little blips around, and each one of those blips, of course, is an airplane and positions and all these kinds of things. Over on the left, right, there's a guy sitting, he's got a screen. That's for all aircraft coming in from the northern zone. The one right here, he's got one, is the aircraft coming in from the east. Got a guy over here, he's the aircraft coming in from the west. I'm wondering, I said, what the hell's going on here? What's over in the corner, right, there's a little guy sitting, right, no radar screen, just a little microphone, headset, right? You know what his job was? To handle all the little flying planes coming in from Colombia, man. Right? It's true. I was listening to him say, you hear this? He said, hey man, I want to land my plane, man. I said, sure, where are you, man? I'm in Puerto Rico, 50 feet, man. I want to land, man. Said, yeah, well, okay, man, but give me your number, man. Are you kidding, man? What I got on board? I want to land the plane, park in the back. I'm meeting friends, man. Thank you very much. I hope you had a good time. We got a good show coming up. Pat, come on back.
Wonderful, Paul. Thank you very much. You know, I hate these people that go and go to the hospital, they come back, and 33 years later, they tell you every little labor pain. Or I had a cousin one time, went to the hospital, and so help me God, he had a little joey glass filled with his stitches. But I'm not like that. I don't do boring stuff when I go to the hospital. No, not at all. What I did this week, I found out that I was, because I had a concussion, I was in a semi-mental ward. And on the other side of the hall, there were some drug addicts, and one night someone got caught shooting up. That was the crowd I was in. And I was worse than they were. Yeah, I went out for ice. Now, as I say, the night before, some turkey, really tacky turkey was shooting up in the bathroom. So everybody is under suspicion. So I goes out about 2 in the morning. I want some ice cubes for my Coca-Cola, okay? So I went out there, well, the floor walker, he's very official, you understand. Back when he's about 24 years old. Give him one damn little, I'm gonna break my, one little karate chop from me, and he is a dead man. But he is very official. He's got his brown uniform on. He's got his little transistor radio, you know. He's going to make sure I'm not shooting up. I thought, oh, I can't say it. My mom's sitting over there, so I can't say anything. And I go to the place where, but that was on the other side where they keep the druggies. So he was watching out that I wasn't going to do anything or crawl into one of the men's bedrooms. So I went, got my ice cubes, marched to my room. I'm going to fix you. And I was in the room with a wonderful girl. And we didn't give a damn what we said or did. So you know what we did? We shut the door. And then for about 2 minutes, while the guy was downstairs sweating like hell, we said, oh, George, ah. Okay, Bill, in a minute, wait your turn. He came running in, his face was as red as this. We said, gotcha, gotcha. But anyway, enough about me and my hospitals. I'll say some more about it a little later. I'm still very manic, by the way. Please forgive me. But last week this time, this is how I done myself in almost. I'm saving for a handheld mic. Okay, I mean a handheld, yeah, a cordless mic. Well, our next comedian is Wade Watkins here, his mother and father right there. They're very big in the mafia, so you better clap. I kid you not, okay? And when he says he's got connections, he sure does. Now, Wade has studied improvisation, he has done comedy, and he is one hell of a comedian. So I'm so glad we have more people coming in. This room is going to get filled up yet. Here's a fellow who makes me wish I were 100 pounds thinner and 30 years younger. Here you go, Wade.
All right, hey. All right, yeah. Yeah, we're big in the mafia, yeah. I'm real big in the mafia. Look, 240 big in the mafia. That's. Now this is my memory. Just put this stuff. This is nice, isn't it? This is real nice. This is sort of like an old computer or something. It's like, open the pod, Hal. I mean, boom, 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 boom. I don't know what that is. Now, I'm not really as big as I look, you know. We had a program with the Trent State College. We had a nice program over there. Played football and all, and they used to say when you came in as a freshman, they'd loan you 2 inches and 20 pounds as long as you promised to pay it back after graduation. So now I'm shrinking, you know. Football players are fun, though, because we always wear, at Trent State, you know, it's getting very academic. It's getting very big. So they said they want all the football players to wear their cum on their shirt. We thought, all right, this is good, this is good. So you should have my cum on my shirt today. The decimal fell off. I really, you know, the scale is 0 to 4. So here I'm a 0.6, but we had a good team. You know, not real smart guys. The quarterbacks were like 1.2, 1.4 on a scale of 1 to 4. We were doing good. You had those running backs at 0.25. These guys are quick. They're not too bright, but they're fun. You know. I love football. Football's such a great game, though. It's like the only sport where you've got 4 coaches on the sideline there, and they've all got clipboards with notes and everything on it, and then you got 4 more coaches up in the press box on a headset to the other coach, and they're all watching the same game. It's like the coach is like, Coach, can you hear me, Coach? Yeah, Coach, yeah, I can hear you. Hey, Coach, we're the blue team, right? Yeah, Coach, got to hear on the clipboard, we're the blue team, no problem with that. I guess let's play football, okay, yeah. You see anything else up there, let me know, you know, cheerleader in the 3rd row, I heard it's real cute. So, yeah, you know. All right, great, well, let's watch a game, you know, hey, okay. I don't know, football's a great game. I like it, but by trade, I'm not a comedian. No, I got a real job. I'm making a couple bucks here. I'm in education. Can you tell I'm a trigonometry teacher, that's right. I get up there, you know, those angles and stuff, and no, I'm only kidding. I teach gym. It's a good class, you know, you get out there, kick a couple of basketballs out. Hey, you guys go play, I'll be over here reading the paper if you need anything. Hey, don't foul nobody, okay? Now, the worst part about being a phys ed teacher is, like, you get out there, and you go, okay, hey, yeah, you know, Johnny football, Billy baseball, you guys go over and start a game. You 4 girls here, yeah, you get another game, pick it up over there, try to make a basket or something. All right, the rest of you dorks, come over here. I'll tell you try to touch your toes or something, okay? There's no way I'm giving you any kind of weapon or baseball or something. You'll kill each other. It'll be like manslaughter. I can't do it. I said no, but I like education. Education's a good time. I'm hanging in there with that. And my real, was part of that. They couldn't give me a job just teaching gym, so they said, all right, well, Wade, we want you to, you're a big guy, you know. We want you to monitor the in-school suspension room. Okay, it's a room, it's about as big as one of these tables. It's real sporty. They put every derelict and deviant student in the school in this room for a day. Okay, so we got about 300, 400 kids in this room. And we're in there, it's like I gotta monitor them. You know, it's like everybody's wearing leather jackets, you know, they're real tough. Yeah, man. They got their leather on, it's like, don't touch my leather. They got brands, not on the leather, on their bodies. And they're like, don't bug me, man. I go out and get a bud, you know. And they're all pumped up. It's like there's enough leather in this room for bonanza. It's like bum-ba-da-bum-ba-da-bum-bum. Little Joe, Pa, Hoss. What kind of name is Hoss, okay? Well, it's like, all right, the lady had a baby. It was 14 or 15 pounds, okay? It's like, what should we name him? Let's name him Hoss. Hoss always got that wore big hat, you know. It's like, yeah, this is good. That's a good name. And then there's like show like The Rifleman. Rifleman's a great show too, you know. That same kind of thing. You got Chuck Connors, a great baseball player, not real big on acting, but it's like he's got a rifle. Everybody else has a pistol, Chuck. Okay? I'm saying this isn't really unfair or anything. Okay? You've got like 27 shots. They've got 6. You know. He ducks the first 3 or 4 and then sits here and says, "Hey, how you doing? I got a rifle." He can shoot from like 2 miles away and pick somebody off. I'm like, Chuck, and then his kid is always watching. And it's like there's 6 minutes left in the show, and he hasn't shot anybody. He's going to kill about 12 people. And Paul, you okay? Yeah, I just killed those 12 people, son, but I'm okay. No problem. No worry about it. I grew up watching this. They wonder why I'm in there watching these deviant kids now, you know? It's like this is what they're growing up. It's on CBN, too, Christian Brothers Network. We're going to show The Rifleman. This is good programming. No problem. I'm like, yeah. And then there's like a great movie. Deliverance. I thought it was a good movie. You got John Voight, Burt Reynolds. You know, he's got his legs split open with something out of Jaws or something. And we got that little mongoloid kid, looks like he's inbred with a puppy or something, sitting there. And it's like, you know, like one eye over here. And he's playing the banjo. Bada bing bing. So the other guy gets out of the car and he's like, hey, I got my guitar. Reaches in, pulls out his guitar. He's being real suave. He's real cool. He's like, he starts playing with the kid. Bada bing bing. And the kid's like, bada bing bing. It's like, bada bing bing. The kid's like, bada bing bing. Bada bing 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 bing. Bada bing 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 bing. And everybody's real happy and they're all, yeah, this is great. Hey, pal, you keep it up with the retarded kid, okay? Come on. I mean, if you want to play with somebody, go down the corner and get off. Stay up with those guys. That's a challenge. Jeez, this kid, you know, he's got the IQ on him. Some football player's Renton State, and he's trying to keep up with the dude. I was like, oh, my God, what is this terrible? But I don't mind being big. I think, you know, it's like okay for guys to be a little chubby. Guys are like huggy and cuddly, you know what I mean. And, I want it then. And it's like, you know, girls like that, yo, he's so hot, oh, yeah, you know. It's like a girl's a little overweight. It's like, yo, hey, yo, pig, yeah, you, Shamu, come over here. Let me ask him, is that a full-time job or you born like that or what? You know, you're a big girl. And everybody's like, they want to see that real cute 95-pound girl in the oversized football jersey comes down to here, you know, and she's got a football and says, want to play football? I get this isn't really realistic. I'd like to see a girl like 240 with an undersized football jersey up to here. How you doing? Yeah, let's play football. All right. This is a cute girl to me. I'm like, yeah, all right, 240. Floppy and wet. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's shaky. I think it was okay if you're husky. It's okay if you're husky. As long as you don't get too overweight that you got to use like the handicap stall, you know? So I'm in the handicap stall the other day. Not that I had to be in there. I just like to go in because I have a good time. You know, they got those little bars, right? So all I had to do is I prop myself up on the bars and I pretend I'm a World War II bomber. It's like we're over the target. Bay doors are open. We just destroyed Berlin. Then I think, oh my God, what happens if a handicapped person has to use the bathroom? All of a sudden the door opens and there I hear like a wheelchair come across the floor. All of a sudden it's, let me in there, I've got to go, I'm Raymond Burr, let me in there. And it's like the cop come, he's writing me a ticket. I'm like, officer, what are you writing me a ticket for? You're parking in the handicap zone here, pal. You're parking, no, officer, I wasn't parking, I was dropping off, I swear. I was going to drop off and get right out of there. It wasn't me, yeah, he gave me the ticket anyway.
I was so crushed. I was so crushed. But, you know, I didn't get to play much at Trenton State, and I was really bummed by that. But one day, we're out there, we're losing to a team. It's like 7-0. My folks are there, and they start chanting, you know. They're like, we want Wade. We want Wade. I was like, yeah, I thought that was kind of nice, you know, shucks. And then, so then, the games were losing like 21-0. And so, like, they had some friends in the band, and some of my other friends were up in the stand. So, like, half the home bleachers are chanting, we want Wade. We want Wade. So the game's going. It's after halftime. It's like the fourth quarter. People on the other side of the stadium from the visitors team are chanting. They're so bored. They're like, we want Wade. We want Wade. We. And they're going crazy. The whole stadium. They're doing the wave. We want Wade. We want Wade. And they're going all. So the coach looks at me, gives me the coaching nod. I scramble for my helmet. I think we're losing like 38-0. I think this is my big chance. I'm going to go in the game, score 39 points at defensive tackle. I'm going to, for people who don't play football, defensive tackles never touch the ball in a career of 17 years, let alone like three minutes left in the game. So I run up to the coach, throw my helmet on. Coach, what is it? He goes, Wade, I want you to go up in the stands and find out what those people want. Probably want to ride home or something. But, this is cute. So anyway, you know, I just became Catholic. You know, I met a nice girl, you know, Irish Catholic, family of 10, you know, who could figure. And so, you know, it had nothing to do with me becoming a Catholic. I was always going to do it. And so we get in there, and I got baptized, confirmed, communion, penance, all in the same day. All right? It's like I walk into the place, the priest is there. It's like, all right, son, we're going to baptize you now. Every sin you've had up to this point will be absolved. My brother's with me. He's a fun kind of guy. He looks at his watch and says, hey, wait, it's only about 4 o'clock. You want to go out and get a couple more sins before we start this thing? I'm like, yeah, maybe we could run out for a little while. Now, I'm not from a religious family, but my mom was from North Philly, and she was a Baptist, okay? And they had like the high-class whole, you know, baptism setup. They had the 2 deacons, they had like the silk robes, the beautiful baptism pool, 2 lifeguards, 3-meter board. I mean, this was big time. They were all pumped up. I was like, yeah, I like that. We're in church, and I'm like, I'm always in there, and I'm telling God to steal second. It's like, go. God never gets picked off. He's like, real kick. Yeah, God, no problem, baby. Yeah, steal, baby, go. Give him the go sign. And I'm in there, I'm having a good time. The church is fun. And we're in there, and they do all that up-down stuff. You know, you sit down, you stand up, kneel down, sit down. It's like squat thrust. I'm going, okay. I'm like, I turn over. I mean, are they doing this for my benefit or what? She's like, it's like, yo, the fat guy in the 3rd pew, pick it up, pal. You got to work out to keep up with God. Come on now. I'm like, yeah, I'm working out. Everything is new to me. Everything I do is new to me. The guy in front of me turns around. It's near the end of the thing. He's going to do the sign of peace. So the guy turns around and he says, peace be with you. I'm like, absolutely, dude, yeah, man, you see this guy telling peace be with me. Then he starts telling 3 or 4 other people. I felt like cheap, you know. I thought I was special, you know. Giving everybody peace. So I don't believe it. And then the worst part, I get up there for communion, and it's like, body of Christ. I'm like, yeah, can I get a fries and a shake with that? Oh, okay, sorry. I didn't know. And then, you know, they're teaching me everything from step 1. So they give you the wafer, and they say, Mary, you're not allowed to chew it. Okay. I can understand that. Like, you know, God is not supposed to be, like, tough, and you have to, you know, dig in there. I got a piece of God stuck in this tooth here. Okay, I got it. No, it's like, all right, so he's supposed to dissolve gently. I can just see me up there going, hey, he's good. This is good stuff. This is my best meal since that Andy's crash. Yeah, this is good. I like this. And I'm thinking, yeah, the wafers are nice, you know. These are, hey, can I have another one of those? I'm going back to my seat. I want to get a couple for my friends. But I'm up there and I'm thinking, hey, do they ever run out? And if they do they run down to Wawa to get some more? It's like, guy runs in, communion wafers? 3rd row to the right, sir. Thank you, I'll get some. And it's like, he comes in, you never see the bag. It's like, who makes them? Keebler, Nabisco? All right, it's supposed to be the body of Christ. Why can't they Take 2. Okay. Run there. Paul, where's your video machine? Run that back. All right. And it's like,
why can't they?
yeah! She's a stenographer, yeah, so she's got everything typed out, the little thing. It's like, why can't they be made by elves in a hollow tree, you know? Made by elves in a hollow... that's terrible. But, you know, I love sports. Sports are great. And I'm having such a good time with sports. The only civilized game left in the world is golf. Golf's a great game. Get up there on the links, you know, you get that nice stuff. Bob Hope's out there. Hey, Bob. How are you? And so we're out playing golf, being a buddy of mine, and then this threesome comes through. They said, do you mind if we play through? I'm like, sure, go ahead. So the first guy gets up, he's got this long gray beard. I leaned over to my friend and I said, isn't that Moses? He's like, yeah, it's Moses. So Moses gets up. He's a pretty good golfer. He's got the robe on, but he's playing well. And he takes a shot, and it slices right for a pond. We're like, hey, tough shot, Mo. It didn't seem to bother him. He goes up, he parts the pond, gets into the middle, chips it. It's about a foot from the cup. We're like, yeah, nice shot, you know. So the next guy, good-looking, blue-eyed guy, light beard, and I'm like, isn't that Jesus? He's like, yeah, it's Jesus. So Jesus gets up. He's pretty good. He just takes a nice shot, curves again, right for that same pond. It lands right on a lily pod. Lily pod. That's the plural for lily pad. Lily pod. Lily pad in the middle of the lake. And it doesn't seem as like, Jesus, no problem. He walks on water. He gets out there to the lily pad. He chips it about 6 inches from the cup. We're like, hey, JC, you could use the 7 on that hole, but hey, that was a nice shot anyway, you know. I play out of the pond. I use the 6 iron, but you know. So the last guy gets up. There's a little senior citizen. Well, he didn't look like a very good golfer, so he gets up there and he just hits the ball, boom! It goes straight up into the air. It's curving right for that same little pond. All of a sudden, a fish jumps out of the pond, grabs the ball in his mouth. Before he hits the water, an eagle comes by, scoops up the fish, drops the fish on the green. The ball goes out of the fish's mouth into the hole, hole in one. Jesus turns to the little old man and says, nice shot, Dad. He stops screwing around and play golf. And I'm like, I thought that guy looked like George Burns. He looked just like him. He had the hat and the thick glasses, you know? I was like, George Burns. He's great. I don't know. Where am I? I don't know. These are my cheat sheet. This is one of them. Oh, was I talking about in-school suspension? Anyway, where's the video machine? We're going all the way back there. You know? Now, my last thing I just want to tell you about, this in-school suspension thing's great. They finally caught on, okay? You got a principal, you got a kid. The kid does something wrong, principal comes up. All right, you've got detention. Kid's like, oh yeah? All right, that's 2 detentions. Who cares? All right, that's 3 detentions. I don't give a... Well, that's it. You're suspended. You're out of school for 3 days. The kid turns around and goes, I thought he was going to keep me after school for 3 days. Out of school is great. It's like, all right, yeah, we're really punishing them, okay? We're telling him, you can't go to school today. The rest of the week, they're kind of, Ma, do I have to go to school today? I feel sick. And they're doing the whole thing. Finally, they came up with this in-school suspension thing. Like I said, they got all the deviants in one room. They got the leather on. They're all tough, you know. They got the 1 earring. They got the 2 earrings here. They got the earring in their nose. They got the earring in their cheek. And, like, this is over at Princeton Day School, so I don't even know what public school is. I had a good time hanging out up here. You know, I always have a good time. And next coming back, Pat Carroll's coming back up here. Hey, thank you very much.
You know, Wade and I work in the same school. I keep my day job. I'm not start yet. Give me time. Isn't he terrific? Yeah, I call up at the parents and I say, hello, Mrs. Smith. They say hello. And I say, can you please tell me where Jimmy is today? He's not in school. He said, he's not what? Oh, you got it true, and I really enjoyed it. It's so nice because when you work in a school, you don't stay the same as anyone your age should be. Like, you see what the kids are wearing? You go out and buy a pair. Now, this is ridiculous. I'm damn near 50 years old and a grandmother. Here I am with cowboy boots, you know? But being with kids does keep you young. And regardless of all the stupid things that they say in the paper, nobody is ever really punished unless they deserve it. You know, this one woman, it was really ridiculous. Her damn kid's caught with pot, you know? And she's, oh, he wasn't read his rights, bucket rights, you know? I mean, I can just see, you know, some damn fool, you know, Jack the Ripper's mother, well, he wasn't read his rights. Of course, all these girls are dead. But by the way, you know, years ago, you either had to be ugly or you weren't a comedian. You had to have your eyebrows real blech, or you had your hair real red or something like this. But nowadays, comedians can be pretty. I give you as an example Joan Rivers. But Joan Rivers doesn't have what Marlene DeVilla and I have. We have a bus line. So it makes us even better someday. And guess who's next? Marlene DeVille. Her parents come from the Chambersburg area. She's destined for stardom. I'm so proud to know her. She makes me feel so insecure because she's so talented. I always have to be nice to her because she's taller than I am, and I'm not fool enough to mess with anybody any taller than I am, huh? Hey, here's a great young lady. Here. Thank you, Pat. Please don't trip on the cord. Okay, last week I had a habit of getting out of the light. Not that you need to really see what I look like. But I wanted to look nice for you folks tonight, so I did put on the lead press-on nails. Okay, I'm wearing my lead press-on hair, too, if you've noticed. This is the active length. Anybody get their hand stamped when they came in? You paid a tuition fee, I was about to say. Paid an admittance fee. Did anybody get their hand stamped? You ever notice that? You go to bars and they stamp your hands? You ever wonder why they do that? They treat you like cattle. I often wondered if you left that bar and went to another one, do they come back from the first bar and round you up and bring you over? I don't know. But I'm only working as a comedian because it's really tough to break into the restaurant business. And, well, that's my real goal, of course, to be a waitress. So, I know somebody who has a friend who knows a busboy, so I may get that big break yet. Just wish he'd return my calls. But you know you're in a fine restaurant when you open the menu and there are no pictures of the food, right? Isn't that a tip-off? But then you get to diners, and I understand there's a certain hierarchy where diners are concerned. They've got the menus that you open up, and there are the pictures of the food. Then there are the diners that are not so nice. They can't afford a photographer, so they've got little cartoon renditions of the food. And then there are the truck stops. You open the menu, and there's actual food in the menu. You can see for yourself. Get a sample. But I'm in therapy. Anybody else here in therapy? You laugh. People who are laughing have been through it, I can tell, right? Now, I actually, it's a sad story. I had to go into therapy because I had experienced some major trauma in my life. I was very disappointed and depressed when I found out that a 19-inch Admiral was actually a color TV set. Think about that. But through therapy, I discovered a few things about myself that were very important. First of all, I know now that I have a deep, abiding need for applause and attention from total strangers. So I hope you all like my act a lot tonight and laugh, because I didn't want to have to hurt anybody. Let's see, Catholic school. Any Catholics here? Yeah. Come on, this is Chambersburg. Okay, we got Wade's a new Catholic, a baby Catholic. I would. Wait, you haven't experienced the guilt trip yet, Wade. It's coming. Okay, a true Catholic knows the meaning of guilt, all right? My church, for instance, Our Lady of Way Too Many Sins. That was fun. But you know, I miss Latin. Do you remember when the Mass was in Latin when you were a kid? Wasn't that fun? Latin was such a beautiful language. But I'm really, you know, what I don't understand is, where is this country, Lata, that they get this language from? I've never been there. I did go to Latin America once, and I was real confused by that because A, they didn't speak Latin, and B, they didn't speak American, so I didn't know what was going on. But let's see, what's in the news? Sad news. Liberace died. I tried to wear some bright rings in homage to him. But, okay, before I say anything about Liberace, I have to first say that I did have a great deal of respect and admiration for the man's talent. I mean, he was a gifted performer. But let's face it, pernicious anemia? Are we buying this one? Brezhnev still has a bad cold, right? But I believe he did die of AIDS. He's just an incurable romantic, that Liberace. But no, he was really a fabulous performer, but let's face it, the guy shopped at Boys R Us, right? And, you know, I sort of get the impression, not that I want to do AIDS jokes, because they're sort of tasteless, but I'll do them anyway, because I'm that kind of person. I sort of get the impression, perhaps, that AIDS is God's way of saying to homosexuals, you know, fellows, this is not the combination I had picked out. I mean, after all, it was Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Which reminds me, Boy George, he was in the news recently. This guy, I mean, I wonder what it's like to be the opposite sex of everybody. You know? Do you get the impression perhaps his parents might have honeymooned at Chernobyl? But this guy is amazing. I mean, oh, and then we find out that all along he was a drug addict. Color me surprised. The guy was on heroin? Register shock. It would have been interesting, though, I think, to have been at the drug rehab center when he came out of that heroin fog, because I imagine his first words were probably something like, I wore what? I did what to my hair? He's kind of strange. Let's see, current events. Bud Dwyer, a couple weeks old now, this news, but former state treasurer, and I mean former, state treasurer of Pennsylvania. These Republicans are serious about their politics. You know who this guy was? He blew his brains out at a press conference. Remember this one? I mean, you know, he was, just to refresh your memories, he had been indicted and convicted on bribery charges, and he was about to face sentencing when he called the press conference and just pulled the, actually put it in his mouth, pulled the old trigger. But really smart. He just blew his chances for a suspended sentence, I'm sure. Probation, out of the question. But I understand that right before he pulled the trigger, he looked up to God and said, "This bud's for you." I love that joke. Let's see. Oh, I'll take the groans. Thank you very much. Let's see, is it 10 o'clock yet? What time is it? 10 o'clock? 9:30. Well, I'll do it a little early. You notice on television at 10 o'clock in the United States, they always have those public service announcements. You know, it's like, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? Okay? I understand that they do the same thing in other countries. For instance, in Mexico, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know how many of your children are in the United States? In Germany, oh God, I'm going to do my German accent. Let's see. No, I can't do my German accent. I'll do my Russian accent. Let's see, in Russia, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? No? We know where your children are. We know where you are. And of course, in Poland, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know what time it is? Where'd all this smoke come from here? We're talking about politics. Let's see, it's 1987 already, which means we've got a presidential election year coming up pretty soon. And I'm glad they're at least 4 years apart because it takes me that long to get a straight face. You know? And I was just trying to think of the possible list. Where is this smoke coming from? It's like out of control here. I should have a smoke alarm in my pants. It would never go off. Except in here. Anyway, it's, I was trying to think of who the possible list of candidates could be. And, well, right off the bat, Ted Kennedy, he's already announced that he's not going to run in '88. Gee, I wonder if there's anything in this man's past that might have influenced that decision. You know? It's like, Mr. Kennedy, where did you park the car? I parked the car in the river. Mr. Kennedy, what is that woman doing in the back seat? I believe it's the backstroke. But they said, oh, I've got a worse joke than that about Kennedy, but I've got this Democratic Irish Catholic blood running through my veins, so I better watch it. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. Pat Robertson, the evangelist. To catch this guy's act? All right, the 700 Club and all that. He has announced that he's going to run for the presidency next year. Okay? And do you know why this man has chosen to run for the presidency? Because God told him to. Okay, Pat, and when God tells me to vote for you, I will. You know, but who's the other evangelist now that's in the news? Oral Roberts? What is this, 2 gay guys named Bob? I mean, what's the deal with that one? He's already said that he's going to die. God is going to take him in March, which is next month, if he does not come up with $4.5 million. Ooh, let's run to our banks, huh? Oh, these evangelists are a strange crew, I think. Anybody here watch God TV? Anybody watch this stuff? God, you're probably all born-again Christians. I'm sunk, huh? Oh, no, I mean, they're incredible. You ever notice a couple of things about evangelists? First of all, they always seem to have lots and lots of hair on their heads. Somebody else's, but a whole bunch of it. And they all talk like this. It's like they have to overpronounce every single word. Praise the Lord. And yeah, I just get the impression perhaps there's an English teacher behind them with a whip. I don't know why they talk like that. But yeah, they're a strange group. But I better not make fun of God because my father used to be an altar boy, you know. He used to work for the guy. So, I better watch it. So yeah, it was at Catholic school, again, you're thinking, anybody here remember the fund that you had to contribute to, the pagan babies? Remember that one? Pagan babies? Do you know what happened to that money? They grew up and bought motorcycles and leather jackets with it. That's what happened to it. God. But, let's see, evangelist. Okay, back to politics. Gary Hart, former senator from Colorado. I think this guy is in the running. All right, not much you can say about Gary Hart except he has great hair. So If he doesn't make it into the presidency, I imagine he's got a career as an evangelist ahead of him. Let's see, George Bush, real colorful character, that guy, huh? Oh, nothing like his boss, however. Let's face it. I mean, Ronald Reagan, this man, you got to give him credit for nothing else. 6.5 years of great comedy material. And today's his birthday, but I think we should give him a round of applause. Come on, for Ronnie Reagan, 76 years old today.
Happy birthday.
Okay, I didn't know Johnny Mathis was here tonight. Let's see, 76 years old today, but he is very, very sensitive about his age. I understand a reporter asked him what his birthday was, and he replied, February 6th. And they said, what year? And he said, well, every year. Just only as Ronald Reagan can. I mean, the guy is so astute. At a press conference last week, he made a statement such as, where would our country be without this great land of ours? You know? Took a while for that one to sink in. But he is the oldest president, and I guess there are some advantages to being that old. For instance, I'm guessing there's not much peer pressure, you know. And the family is terrific. I mean, you've got to admit he's got a very interesting family to follow. Nancy Reagan, anybody here ever see her in public? Ever see her in public? Almost lifelike, this woman. It's just incredible. And their wonderful son, Ron Reagan Jr. Ron Reagan. Do you think perhaps there's a Burger King missing a night manager somewhere? He is something else. But I don't know. Let's talk about my family for a minute. In the paper last week it said, and Pat also said, my parents are from Chambersburg. I happen to be moving here next week, run for the hills. And both my parents, but my mother's Irish, my father's Sicilian. It's a really great combination. And what's interesting is that on my father's side of the family, you've got all these really emotional, out-of-control people, you know, the Sicilians. And, okay, I have to, you know, it's public knowledge, I might as well tell you. My father is Sicilian, he's a contractor, and he's from New Jersey. Okay, so you better laugh. But, no, he's not in the mafia, I'm only teasing. My father is not in the mafia. And if he were, I'd be driving in a 77 Cordova. But however, we do have some relatives that I believe are of that persuasion. As a matter of fact, I've got one distant relative, Uncle Vito. Uncle Vito is great. Uncle Vito walks with a limp in his wrist. Yes, it's true. Uncle Vito is gay. Sort of the pink sheep of the family, you know. We don't like to talk about him too much. But what's great about Uncle Vito is that when he gives you the kiss of death, you also get dinner and dancing, so that's not too bad a deal. But the interesting thing about the Sicilian family is that all of the family affairs, whether it be a wedding or a wake, they're traditionally the same. It's the procession of fat ants all dressed in black. It's happening already. And, you know, it's the same thing. I mean, you go to one of the Italian funerals, and they're so emotional, they're out of control, they're begging God to take their lives, and I'm seconding the motion. And you've got ants, you know, emotionally out of control, doing backflips into the grave. You know, it's like, that's a lovely 9.2 for Aunt Rosie. And the one thing that they do, though, that drives me crazier than anything else is, because I'm still single, they are constantly asking me why I'm not married. You know, I show up and they're pinching my cheek and they're going, oh, you're so pretty, how come how come you not getting married? How come you're so alone? And like, I don't want to have to go through this shit anymore. But the great thing is my mom's side of the family, okay? This never happens over there. I mean, I attend any of the Irish functions. These people are so terrific. I mean, they drink, they party, they know how to have a good time. And they never ask me that question, okay? They never ask me why I'm alone. And I finally figured out it's because when I show up at one of these affairs, they've been drinking so much that they're seeing double. They think I'm with somebody. You know? But Mom's great. I love having an Irish mother. She's just a terrific mother. She's going through that change of life deal. You know, it's like last week she was mom, this week, I don't know what, a Viking. Next week, a gladiator. And she says some really incredible things. It's like, my brothers always drink a lot of milk, and she's constantly, every day, running to the store and buying gallons and gallons of milk. So the other day I heard her say to my brother, you know, I'm just going to buy a cow, and I'm just going to leave it in the backyard, and then you guys can help yourselves. So my brother said, yeah, how about a Girl Scout to go with that cow, Mom, so we have a plentiful supply of milk and cookies. She's really funny. I think I'll take a cocktail break here. It is cocktail hour, isn't it? I'm Irish. It's always cocktail hour. But fear not, I won't become an alcoholic because my policy is that I don't drink alone. So I've got a cat now. And, no, I actually did. I went out and bought a cat. And he's a black cat. I call him Kunta Kite. Kunta Kite, I love him. And he's he's a great cat. The funny thing is that if you've got a cat, you know about the attitude, okay? Cats have this attitude. They're just incredible. And the other day I took the Windex out and I had the sliding glass door and I cleaned off the sliding glass door so it was crystal clear. You couldn't even tell it was glass. And he thought the door was open. And because I never let him outside, I mean, the poor cat is stuck in my apartment all the time, he saw his chance. I mean, this cat thought the door was open. This was his big chance to escape. So at full speed, he goes running right across the room, smack, right into the glass. He turned around, he looked up at me, and he said, "I meant to do that." And then off he went into my bedroom, and I heard him as he went under my bed going, meow, 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 meow. But he's a great cat. But the thing is that when I'm not home, I know he's doing all kinds of weird things to the apartment, making a lot of those long-distance phone calls, you know, those Persian-to-Persian calls. They can be expensive, but he gets on my nerves. No, he's a great cat. One thing I remember back in college is my friends always did strange things to their animals to get them high. You remember this? Friends do this stuff. You know, like put a little vodka in the dog's bowl, okay, and the dog gets all, you know, zonked out. Or you blow smoke in the cat's face and the cat gets all stoned. You know, they thought that was a lot of fun. So I had a party one time and I wanted to be hip, you know, so, you know, we wanted to get my cat high, but it's tough holding him down and give him those needles, you know. He just, meow, meow. You don't want to put up with that shit. But, something else that happened to me. I got stopped for drunk driving the other day. Anybody ever go through this wonderful experience? Yeah, I got stopped for drunk driving. And the thing was that I was driving along, and okay, I admit I'd had a few drinks, and I was, you know, but I'm real careful. I mean, I'm really careful when I've been drinking and driving. So I look in my rearview mirror, and I know I'm not bobbing or weaving or anything. And I look in the rearview mirror, and all of a sudden there's all these flashing blue and red lights. It was like, I thought the disco followed me home, you know? I didn't know what was going on. And then I hear this voice out of nowhere, "Pull the car over." A disc jockey! And a disc jockey behind me. But anyway, so I pull the car over, the cop comes over, and he's doing a lot of this. He's got all the donuts stuck up there. And he asked for my, I don't know, some documentation, license, registration, Turtle Club membership card. I don't know what he wanted. So I hand him all these things, and I'm really baffled because I'm thinking, wow, is my taillight out? Why is he stopping me? And he finally told me, look, suspicion of drunk driving. How can this be? And then, of course, the next thing he said was, all right, lady, out of the car, take the lampshade off the head, and walk the straight line for me. But drunk driving is, you know, to me, I don't see how you can really, why it's such a big deal anymore. Because when you think about it, cars today are manufactured in such a way. I mean, you've got power steering, power brakes, automatic transmission, cruise control. How difficult can it be? You hang onto the steering wheel and you wait for your house to pull up. I mean, come on. And then right before that, I'd gotten stopped, this time for running a stop sign is what the officer said. Of course, I pleaded that I couldn't read and drive at the same time. These cops can be ridiculous. And the thing that drives me crazy, though, is if you've ever noticed this, when a cop stops you and he's written the ticket or he's giving you the warning or whatever it is he's going to do with you, he then gets back in his car, you pull out, and he follows you. Do you ever have this happen? The guy doesn't sit there and wait for you to go. He pulls right out from behind you, and he's like following you for miles. This has never happened to anybody. Nobody's nodding here. This happens to me all the time. Oh, I can't afford any more tickets, man, because I'm not going back to that traffic school for anything, man, with all those Chinese people. That was a nightmare, you know? But, so I'm nervous because he's right behind me, and I'm thinking, oh, man, he's going to nail me on something else. I'm going to get another ticket. I can't afford these points. And I come upon one of these intersections with the red blinking light. I wasn't taking any chances. I stopped 12 times going through that intersection, man. But just one more thing before I go, and then I'll drive you all home. Hey, you gotta forgive me. It's that time of the month again. The rent's due. Anyway, I'm on a diet, okay? I'm trying to lose like a few 100 pounds. And, you know, I mean, I can diet, but I can't exercise, all right? It's like the ice flies out of my drink. It's such a mess. And, you know, you might call it jogging, you can call it swimming, you can call it aerobics, you can call it tennis. I don't care. To me, it's still gym. G-Y-M, gym. I don't have to go anymore, so I don't. All right? But there are other things you can do that I read about, okay, when you're trying to look thinner, little tricks. And I found out, for instance, that black makes you look thinner. All right? So I'm dating Ray Charles now. And, oh, like you've never had a blind date before. Well, that's it. I want to thank you. You're a terrific audience. We'll give you back some pat right here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marlene. Really appreciate having her. Okay, now, before I send you all downstairs to enjoy the music of the 50s and 60s, you know, the music that my grandmom tells me all about. Of course, I'm too young to remember, and I remember every damn word. Okay? We have a glorious, wonderful experience here because right now we're having one of the youngest and most talented gentlemen that I've ever met. Again, he's just like Wade. He reminds me, oh God, if only I were young. You know, but his name is Scott Beauregard. Please remember it. And remember, with a name like Scott Beauregard, either he had to be a damn good boxer or a comedian. He really had no choice. Scott, here you are. Come on.
How you doing?
Yay, come on, good.
Crib sheet. You know what really bothers me? You ever go in the bathroom and toilet paper? Think they make the sheets small enough? How do you wipe your ass with a sheet of toilet paper? Well, it comes apart. That must mean it's two. No, but I talked to one of my friends who's Polish, and he did show me how to wipe an ass with one sheet of toilet paper. You gotta do like this. Wait a minute. This is how you wipe your ass with one sheet of paper. Works great. I was a little worried that I wasn't going to get here tonight because I had to work late. And I work at a video store, but I'll get back to that later. Okay? My mom drove me down here today because my car's in the shop. I got one of those new Jewish cars, the Jugo. And it's sort of down, you know. Hey, pennies of gas make it run forever. But Mom drove me, and that's an experience. Driving with your mom, Ma, you're a little late means slow down, not hit the gas. Okay. But do you ever remember driving with your mom when you were a little kid? And how, like, especially right after a fight with your mom, let's go to the store. She traps you in her car and gives you the lecture of your life. Drive around, I want you to clean your room, and you gotta take care of that damn guinea pig you just bought. Jesus Christ. Damn thing's been lost for 3 weeks, probably dead under the refrigerator somewhere. It's great. But I do enjoy driving with my mom, you know. Where else can you pretend you're on the Autobahn, you know, in Germany? Hey, Ma, let's get your citation up to 150 again. It's pretty good, though. I'm gonna use my crim sheet now. Nobody saw this. I want to talk about my school. I just thought it out of the blue. Figured while I'm up here, what the hell? You know? I'm gonna do this. I just moved recently, 4 years ago, and hey, you've been around longer than me, you know? But I moved quite a long distance. I moved from North Brunswick to South Brunswick. 3 miles down the road is long when you don't have a car, pal. You gotta walk. You know what it's like carrying a couch? Up who? But I found out things were kind of different. Because if you remember back in school, if you didn't have a pass to walk in the hallway, and the hall guard would come out and say, you have a pass? No? Go back to the class. I mean, go back to class. But in South Brunswick, it's a little different. See, the principal used to be a drill sergeant in the Army. So he put on a few of his buddies who happened to be expert riflemen. And you're walking down the hall. Yo, you! You got a pass? Okay. I lost 3 of my best friends the other day. You know, they skipped class. They wanted me to go with them. I said, "What that shit? No way." Thought of something else to tell you. I come up with this great stuff, huh? I don't plan any of this. I get up here and I talk. And you think I'm one of these comedians that pay somebody? Bullshit, huh? I'm Mandel all the way. But I'd like to tell you about two of my teachers. One is Mr. McNeil, who thinks he's God. He's our work orientation teacher. Anybody ever here take an orientation class in school? You know, it's supposed to be, when you go out for a job, what you gotta look for is good wages, good hours, something you like, something you're not just gonna quit after the first week. They say that the average American goes through 17 jobs in his lifetime. I'm 18. I'm going through 42. So does that mean I'm abnormal? I don't know, it's like every week I say, fucking, I'm not going back to that place. That place is boring. So now I'm working at a video store full time. What a career, huh? What do you do for a living? I work with tapes. I'm a tape engineer. I know how to put tapes in boxes, take them off a shelf, put them in a bag, and take your money. But anyway, Mr. McNeil, I mean, it's like you go to his class, you're in for it. You know, you don't leave this guy's class because he thinks he's God. Why are we all put here on this earth? Is it to make a meager living? Or is it for something better? I mean, God, you're sitting here in class for 45 minutes with a guy who thinks he's Jesus Christ, for God's sake. Mr. McKee, our woodshop teacher, he's a boozer. He's the guy that has a little bottle of J.D. in his top drawer that doesn't want to say, go get the pass. Second drawer. It's in the second. Mr. McKee is great, though. And he's one of these guys that's really into safety. I mean, you got to wear the safety goggles, you got to wear these gloves, you got to wear the apron. First day in class, Mr. McKee cut himself twice. This is the radial arm saw. Never put your finger here and push this button. That's the way Mr. McNeil operates. Let me see, what else can I talk about? Skiing. Anybody here ski? I never knew there was a mountain in New Jersey, Bell Mountain. Anybody ever going there? Is that great or what? I mean, what is it? It's like... It's a hill. It's Bell Hill. I mean, the expert slope of Bell Mountain is like the bunny slope somewhere else. But I did go skiing this morning, and one thing I will never do again is try going down without my skis on. Because I find out it doesn't work right. You can't stay up. But another thing I found out is little kids like to show off. So it's like me, my first day skiing. I'm skiing down a hill. Doing great, you know, falling every 3 feet. But hey, it was a goal. I fell down, and this little kid skis up to me and slides sideways, and he starts laughing at me. So I said, fix your ass. Got my skis off, walked up to him, grabbed the front of his, lifted him up in the air, planted them suckers in the ground. The kid couldn't move for 3 hours. When I did learn how to ski, I was doing circles around a little fucker. I thought it was great, though. And then you got these little kids that do tricks. You know, they spin around, and they ski backwards. I nudge them. You ever see how fast a little kid can go down a ski hill on his face? I love it. How's everybody doing? You know, it's great to be in Trenton this week. You know, because I was in Princeton last week. Princeton's a great town, it's just the people. Hi, how you doing? I'm from Princeton. I graduated from Princeton University. Big fucking deal. Thank you. I hope to get out of school someday, but they had me on the 5-year program in 11th grade so far. You know, I could have graduated 3 years ago with the rest of my class, but I said, I'm going to stick around. Hey, where else can you get free transportation? I love it. Reflexes. It's great. That's why I joined Jack LaLanne. Grab the cue cards. Can you do that? Come here. Can I try? Anybody eat before they came here, or are they expecting this big, great hors d'oeuvres and everything like that? We have popcorn. Anybody realize that there's popcorn yet? Yeah. As a matter of fact, we had this popcorn last week. The other people didn't like it, so we brought it back. We had balloons last week, too. That's the only thing that people took. You should have seen this one guy trying to stuff a balloon down his throat. It was great. We told him it was a big grape. He was a little wasted. He fell down the stairs, popped the balloon. What a jerk. No, but I went out to eat before I got here. I went to Mickey D's. Went through the drive-thru. Can anybody here understand the drive-thru at Mickey D's? I mean, this is $1 billion operation. What do they have? A nice big box with the menu with a little tin can and a string going to the inside of the building? Welcome to Welcome to McDonald's. Return order. Excuse me? Return order. I'd like a Big Mac, large fries, and a Coke. Say it nice and clear for them. Big Mac, large fry, Coke. This is a for the show. Close enough. I'll take it. Then the good part comes. It's like, your order comes to please drive ahead. They don't want you to get out of line when you find out how much you're paying for this horse meat. McDonald's, 50 billion served. 12 cows died for that. You know what's really funny though? When you go to McDonald's and they got like an Indian person working there and you can understand every word they say over the drive-thru. Welcome to McDonald's, may I take your order? Got anything left over from this morning? Oh, yeah. You go into a fast food restaurant. Oh, the burgers aren't ready. They make these things by millions and millions. Jeez. You go in there and you wait. But it's weird, because then the Indian guy's like, oh, Jess, we have an Egg McMuffin left from this morning. Sounds good, I'll take it. Would you really? Hey, this guy's been staring at this thing for hours. He's hoping the thing would walk away by now. Yeah? It's probably left over from last week. So, you get it and you leave. Pay for that shit. What's fun though is you go there and it's really busy, like near some big building that everyone breaks for lunch, goes to McDonald's. You get in line for the drive-thru. You get up and you know all kinds of shit. Then when you get up to the window, you drive by. Next guy's in for a surprise. Yeah, your order comes to $432.94. Holy shit! Price of iced tea ran up this week? I love it. I do it all the time. Something that I do. I have a hobby, yes. Look over there. Look, naked lady coming out of the store. You looked. Joke of the day. That's a very nice sweater. Where'd you get that?
Bambergers.
Bambergers. I love those big stores like Bambergers. You go in there and you rip shit off, and they got rent-a-cops. Dude, freeze right there. I'm gonna go get a real cop. I'll hit you with my nightstick. Where do they find these guys, man? All right, this is true. All right, I went into Trenton. You know where they take the state troopers test? It's an old high school, you know, where a lot of black people go. You know? Graffiti all over the walls. I mean, there's no toilets in the bathroom, just a little hole in the ground because can't pull them up. Flushing them, Eddie. Blow up a little pipe in a math class. That good. Yeah, it's pretty good. But I went there to take the state troopers test with my sister. And I hadn't planned on taking it. But since she was going to be there for 3 hours taking this test, I said, what the hell? When I handed it in 15 minutes later, the guy looked at me like, what the hell are you? I took a 3-hour test in 15 minutes and passed. Let me give you an example. Hot is to cold as wet is to... Nobody here could pass this test. This is the only lady. We wouldn't want her defending our streets, would we? That's a question on a state trooper's test. So it's like then you get real mad and shit. You're driving down the highway at like 150 miles an hour, and a state trooper pulls you over. You know how fast you would go. Hot is to cold is wet is to... That was on a test. Yeah, they know me. They know me real good. You ever go to a DWI check on the way home from a bar late at night? Where you pull your car over and the cop comes up. License, registration, and insurance. So you give him all that shit. He breathe on me. You've been drinking, haven't you? Why, yes, I have. I'm glad to see you pass the state trooper's test. Why don't you come to my house and you can watch me drink some more? No, then they make you get out of the car. And it's weird, because they say, can you recite the alphabet? Yes, I can. As a matter of fact, I will sing the alphabet. Because nobody in here can say the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And the cop's like, what the fuck's wrong with this? And they get you at the end when you go, W, X, Y, and Z. Z, N? N, Z? Hey, I graduated from South Brunswick High School, man. Give me a break. Yeah, it's pretty good, though. Look over there. You ever go into Kmart? Isn't that great? Blue light special. Attention, Kmart shoppers. There is a blue light special on the frozen ice tray department. We have 1,500 blue ice trays. Get them while they're going fast. Yeah, right. I like going in there and just pushing that little blue light anywhere I want in the store, flicking it on, running over to the napkin, goes, attention Kmart shoppers, there's a 5-finger discount in any section of the store you'd like. That's the ticket. I wrote that line. I can imitate that guy. Does anyone want to hear it? Okay. Sure. All right. I'll tell her. No, I'm not going to do that because I get in a lot of trouble because he's probably here. You know what's a new thing now with the road crew? Street reflectors. Driving down the highway, see all these reflectors on the road? Would you do that for a living? Okay, I'm going. Get out of the way before the car comes by. How many people do you think they lose a year? Shit. Union Carbide would be so lucky. It took you a while, but I see you people. The guy and the lady in the back don't know. Oh. I'm out. List number 2. The big list. What was that? And who are you? Why don't you stand up and let us all take a look at you? Too lazy to shave this year? Where did you get that jacket? Salvation Army dumpster? It's funny when you see a Salvation Army dumpster with an address on it. I have to stop by and dump in on you sometime. Okay, as I said, I do work at a video store, and I noticed one of the latest crazes is the adult tapes. Porno. This guy, he's into porno. I noticed you don't have a girl with you. You must really be into porno. How much Vaseline do you use? Roll dose. Yeah. So you blow too, huh? Guys look strange. I wouldn't sit near him, man. You might clean up your sweater with a little high-powered.
He goes either way, man.
Oh, he goes either way? Talk to me after the show. Beam me up, Scotty. I can't do it, Captain. I'm giving it all she's got. Where'd they find that weirdo? They probably did beam him up. Some alien life form. Scotty! Gee! But anyway, I'm gonna... Are you through? What kind of cigarettes are you smoking? Carlton? Trying to be different, are we? Menthol. Ooh. A real man. I got more gold than you, pal. I'm a real man. Don't you hate, though, when a little piece of hair gets caught in a necklace? And you bang your neck and it, like, hurts really bad? I hate that. I hate when that happens. Anybody sticking around for the second show? Because I want to use this shit again. Because, alright, if you're going to stick around for the new show, I'll buy everybody a few drinks. You'll be all fucked up. You won't know what I'm talking about. Eat some popcorn. You don't know what we put in it. It's great. getting back to what I was saying. I memorized these, and I'm gonna recite them for you now. These are some of the latest adult tapes that have taken names from other popular shows you might know about. Ram-bone. Ram-bone, ladies and gentlemen, stand up, take it out. He rams anything, plastic, female, hole in a heartbeat, he'll ram it. If it breathes and it has a hole, I'll ram it. Breaking and entering. What kind of position you think they're talking? Flaming tongues? Did you see that? It's about lesbians. Why would you get that? There's only so many things you can do with a double dong. Fantasex Island, which is about little midgets. And I always wondered, what would you get if you crossed a midget with a hooker? Little fucker about this big. Hey, Ryan! You're number one! You're probably a Broncos fan, too, ain't you? I have a friend that went out to see the Super Bowl 3 weeks ago. He took $800 with him. He's still there. He called me. I heard the crowd roar. Chris, how's the game? It's great. It's great, great. Yeah, it's great, great. I was like, what seat you got? Let me see. I'm in lot 3 on the west side of the stadium by the payphone near parking space number 3002. You're not in the stadium, Chris? No, but it's great. It's great. There's hundreds of people out here. It's great. The kid's still there. He's digging up little pieces of sod where the Giants all stepped. You know, he's going to bring them back, plant them in his yard. If anybody knows where Chris is, tell him we want him back. You know? He's probably walking. Yeah, they probably turned him down for flight on the airplane because of the way he looks. Did you ever see a pepperoni pizza? Picture it with eyes. That's my friend Chris. Weird shit. Okay, getting back to this. Marina Vice. It stars Don Johnson and Philip Michael Thomas with the double dong. Check that out. You probably did. Dr. Strange Sex. Does anybody know where that could be taken off from? This guy. I gotta start picking on someone else, man. You're getting bored. You're not laughing. Come on, move around. Make some funny little gestures. Or just look normal, at least. Okay. We have Looking for Mr. Good Boner. Right here. 100% comedian. No artificial flavors, no artificial colors. Want a taste? This lady's looking at me like, what the fuck? You're all gonna talk about me tomorrow. Yeah, you should have seen this guy. I love this. Great. Hey, fantastic. Another customer coming in, please. Everyone stare at her. We're staring at you now. How come you're carrying the pocketbook, sir?
I'm stocking.
Stop.
Take his money and then you give him his.
You're a very nice boy. Okay. The new James Bond thriller for your thighs only. Here's one that I love. This is a cartoon, Little Oral Annie. Part 2 is coming out, Little Anal Annie. With the double down. You guessed it, right. You guys are smart. I don't even have to throw a hint. Shit. Lust in Space. Lady with a robot. Dirty Sherry. Go ahead, make my night. With the double dong. That's a one-person show, you know. You gotta watch it. Backside to the Future. Backside to... Alright, I'm gonna say it. Backside to the Future. Thick. You guys are thick. Nice book bag, pal. Where do you go to school? Why don't you take off your jacket and stay a while? Ah, I see you wore your formal bowling shirt today. Could have gotten a little spiffed up. Why don't you take off your jacket? Hold up your hands for a minute. No, wait, leave the gloves on. Do you mug a bum? You know what's fun? You go in the park late at night when the bums are sleeping on a bench, you grab them by the ankles and you see how far you can drag them before they wake up. Look for speed bumps in the park. It's great. Okay, we have the new Arnold Schwarzenegger. What?
I got a list. Where's the spontaneity here? You have to read?
Shut up.
When you go and shit out of you and squeeze your head.
If I wanted shit out of an asshole, I'd fart.
Good one.
It's a comeback.
I knew it.
I made it just for you. Are those John Lennon glasses?
Yeah. Good look at
And
it.
what's the beard from? I don't recognize that.
I stole that off the best she got the gloves from.
You know, they look kind of curly. By any chance you had them transplanted from a place down below?
Let me order first.
Is that a shockproof watch? No, hey, you.
You're interrupting Zach. Yeah, it is.
That is?
Yeah.
Beat it on your head a few times. That's the same shirt you wore last week. He's probably wearing the same underwear, too.
He doesn't wear underwear.
Who said that?
The hell with you, fella. Meet me after the show. Next week, you'll be able to tell everybody if I wear underwear, and yes, I do. It has little hearts on it.
You got a
Heart
heart on?
on? Yeah, I do. Excuse me while I scratch it. This guy's having a hard time. Does anybody in here know that? What is it? CPR? What's that? Does anybody know that? Your ass is dead. Laugh some more. Can you laugh really hard and make the beer come out of your nose? Can you?
I don't think so.
Meet me after the show. You'll learn. Okay. Getting back to previous things before Mr. Rude walked in. Where do you go to school?
I don't go to school.
Figures. Do you fake it or what? You just go to a store, buy some books, walk around like, gotta go to class, gotta go to class.
No, I just have all kinds of shit in there.
Did you ever go to school?
Yes.
What grade did you
How
finish?
did I picked up in college?
How did you... Oh, you did go to college.
I went to Trenton State College.
Trenton State College. This half doesn't give a shit where you went.
We didn't go to school.
Yeah, right! Give him a round of applause. Okay. So what did you take? The class for the spontaneous brain dead?
No, public abuse 1 and 2.
Public abuse 1 and 2?
Hey, you need a
Were you an
straight man.
example?
Come on, you were dead before.
Yeah, you must have been an example of public abuse. Or child abuse. What are you, an example for birth control? Okay.
No, you have that handled.
Have that handled? Handle this.
God, that's why you don't need birth control.
Now I gotta leave this guy alone. He's starting to get better than I am. Okay? We're even? Even Steven? Cross your heart? No? If not, I'll poke your ass. Porked. Porked? That's an adult tape. Firebox. You guys are stupid. Total waste. Love lessons. You should try that.
I've seen them all.
Take them from him. He doesn't wear any underwear. The sex game. I invented that. I know how to do it. I'll give instructions. First lesson free. Now I'm gonna go back to pack my shit. Excuse me. You know what this says? Up on top, say 100 you go. That's okay. You would know what a vasectomy is. Would you?
What?
Forget it. She's like Airhead City over here. Vasectomy. Hey. That's a great line. Huh? I had a vasectomy. You'll still be a virgin. Come on. Hey. Go to sleep now. Anybody ever hear babysit? Nobody ever hear him babysit? Ooh. A grunt from the Neanderthal woman sitting up front with 2 dishes of popcorn and a drink. Would you like another dish? It can be arranged. No, but I did babysit for a little brat once. His name was Mark. I took him shopping. I bought him a model airplane. I bought him a model car. I took him to McDonald's. But wait, I say to myself, which I did, let's go over there to Burger King. It's cheaper. And you can understand their drive-thrus. Let's give them a hand. But this is the same kid that calls me his best friend all day, says he loves me, he wishes I was his father, which I probably might be. I get around. Teddy ball man shit. I'm all over the place. But anyway, the kid got mad at me because I wouldn't take him to McDonald's, and he locked my keys in my car. That little kid will never do that again. I took care of him. I glued him to his model airplane and his model car, and he takes them with him wherever he goes. He goes to school, they're with him. He goes to the bathroom, part of one's with him. You should see where I put the spokes and the wheels for that car. Look. How many girls in here think guys are predictable?
Yeah.
You can clap, you don't have to go, like Neanderthal. Excuse me, what's 3 and 4, Miss Neanderthal? Did you graduate?
Yeah.
Amazing. How much did your parents have to pay? Did they pay them off separately, or was it one big check? Checks are fun. You know what really sucks about checks, though? When you go into a crowded store on a holiday, you buy all kinds of shit. He knows what I'm gonna say, don't you? Well, then leave. And you go in there. Practice. And you go in there, and you buy all this shit, and you go up to the counter, and you're acting all big, pulling out your checkbook with your personalized checks, with your little initial up in the corner. And the lady goes, gotta have approval. Joanne, come over here, gotta have approval. Joanne comes over here. That's a big sum of money there. I'll be right back. She goes over. It's like, why doesn't she just announce it over the loudspeaker? She comes back, top of her lungs. Excuse me, sir. We are very happy that you're patronizing our store. We're very glad you made some of the finest selections in our store. You go for the most expensive goods, but your check is not worth diddly. Oh, thank you very much. Wouldn't you like to teach her a lesson or two about sex? With the double dong. That doesn't work anymore. Is it used up?
Sold.
Coke bottle? 3-liter Pepsi? I don't know. Well, as I was saying, men are predictable, and I guarantee you that every man in here that goes into the bathroom pisses on the little air freshener in the urinal. Don't you know? You get in there, it's like, just to see if it smells when you piss on it. I can imagine some guy written that. What can we make with all urinal air fresheners? They sold millions. Was that a cut?
Yeah.
I gotta go. Thank you very much. I've had a fun evening.
Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're lucky to have him here tonight. We also have some celebrities from the Trentonian magazine, newspaper. I shouldn't really have a concussion too often. We have beautiful music from the 50s and 60s downstairs. After our next entertainer, we happen to have a man who played Dangerfields in New York. I played with him in New York too. If his mother ever finds out, I'm dead. One night it was Who's on First in New York City, and his name is Ken Bauer, and my name is Pat Carolyn. But he sat there and he stood there and he said, "Oh, I'm Ken, and there's Barbie." And then he was 20 years old at the time. I'm 40, you know. And he thought better of it. And he says, "I don't want all those people to say, you know, that this is my girlfriend. I mean, she shaves more than I do." So he said, "Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just kidding. This is not. She works with my mother." And I had the devil in me that night. I said, "Ken, I'm carrying your baby. How can you disown me like that?" Well, we're going to be bringing Ken up. Ken, you there? Yeah. Hey, all right, can I do one more? I forgot to tell everybody, I was in medical school one time. He was talking before, you know, and I was very good. I was able to cut up things. Always been sort of a cut up. Well, we start cutting with the hand. That they get you used to it, you know. Start cutting the hand and the arm and the chest. Then you start cutting other things. And this is the day I embarrassed myself when I was in medical school. We got to the lower area, and I yelled, "No bones!" Think about it. Come on, Ken. Bail me out. Come on. Here's this. And then downstairs to the music of the 50s and 60s. Bye-bye now.
Obviously a childproof microphone. Got it. How's it going? Welcome to the rodeo room here. They couldn't wait for the paneling to get finished. Looking pretty good too. She's wearing those little tiny shorts. Little tiny shorts. Well, she just threw away her little tiny shorts. So, yo, Donna! Donna, yeah, you, come here. Come here. No, not the fat chick next to you. You stay back. You go, yeah, ah. Oh, Donna, we want Donna. Yeah, come on over here. What are you doing? I don't always look like Richard Simmons like this. Usually my arms are much longer. So, this is a clear case of the right hand not knowing what the left hand is doing. And I can't be blamed. So, I'm gonna go out tonight. See, you know, what are you doing? You gonna be feel like going out somewhere? You know, go see a movie. Go see that movie Platoon. Platoon with the guns. Guns in Vietnam. Only one gun in the movie. They had other big guns. Guns and bombs. Guns and bombs. Guns and bombs and hand grenades and dead bodies. And, we did the movie. We're gonna take my car, my brand new car, with the H-shaped steering wheel, and a five-speed turbo. Yeah. I can't get it in fourth gear though, but don't worry about that. We'll have that touch fixed anytime. Yeah, having a good time. Well, I got some good drugs too. Yeah, I got some great pot. Good pot. I found the pot, but I can't find my mouth. I talked to that guy before. What's that guy? Herdes, before he got busted for the cocaine, got a good bag of some good. Yeah. The first way, I gotta pick my nose first. So anyway, what do you say? You want to go? How about? What do you mean? You want to? Why not? What are you talking about? You don't want to go? You want to go out with who? Wade. Wade who? What is that? What is that? A brook or something? Is it a stream you gotta go jump? Oh man, get out! Fuck you, bitch! Oh yeah! Get out of here! Come on, I'll go out with your sister who's got the big breasts. The big breasts that stay on the front of her chest. They don't go anywhere. All right, thanks. I like this. All right, we got a second show whether you like it or not, so hang around.
Again, I say, you're encouraged to go downstairs and listen to the music of the 50s and 60s, or you can stay up here and be very wacky with us. The second show will be terrific, okay? We're going to take just a couple-minute break, all right? And by the way, some of the risque things I said at the beginning of the show, like I was at the hospital and I was very upset because I saw this poor person. The eye was all swollen. I said to the nurse, what happened? She said, oh, the person's suffering from syphilis of the eye. Yeah, she was looking for love in all the wrong places. Well, all that kind of good shit, and we're not going to have that second show from me because my husband came in. So now we've got to be very prim and proper. So, anyway, hang in. We'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you very much.
Public venture back there. Is there anything? Well, give me a beer. So a couple minutes later, he goes, hey, bartender. Mr. Wayne, how are you? You got a private men's room? Oh, Mr. Wayne, I'm one of your biggest fans. If I had a private men's room, I'd let use it, but we just got the public one back there.
Well, I guess it'll have to do. A couple minutes later, John Wayne comes back. He's sopping wet. Mr. Wayne, what happened to you? You're sopping wet. Look at you. What happened? What happens all the time? I walk into the public men's room. Everybody spins around and says, "Hey, you're John Wayne." Now, I don't want to do That's terrible. Oh, I get to it. That's what it is. You know, I went to college, had a good time at college. And it's like, I lived with 5 guys in one room, a one-room apartment, okay? It's about this big, and it's real sporty. I thought this is, so let me give you an idea of exactly what it's like to live with 5 football players in a one-room apartment, okay? It's kind of vivid, but I want
for myself.
So do I.
That's a different night now. I remember those parties. Now, so we figured now it's August, okay? Really hot August. Think of the sleaziest restaurant you've ever seen. Don't go in it. Go around back and jump in the dumpster, okay? Now this is during the week. Now on the weekends, this was like find a wino, feed them a huge industrial can of baked beans, okay? A quarter muscatel and 2 6-packs. Bring them in the dumpster with you, and then kick them in the stomach every 10 minutes. All right? Because I enjoyed these guys, though. These were kind of fun. The kind of guys who walk around nude, you know, picking their ass. It's like, yeah, how you doing there? Yeah, this is good. All right. I like these guys. I don't know. Why do I like these guys?
Maybe we have so much in common.
I don't know. All right. So anyway, what was I just thinking? Oh, anyway. So I figured I got out of college. I got to do something. I said, I know I'm going to become a professional wrestler. So I went out and got myself a manager. Got myself the best manager I could get. He was tough. He was mean. He says, kid. He says, kid, I'm going to train you. I'm going to make you a champion, kid. You're tough, you're big, you're strong. I'm going to make you a champion. All right, I want to be a champion now.
You got it.
I got it. All right, I want to be a champion. I'm going to be a champion. So I get a champ. I'm undefeated. I got a championship bout with the Russian Bear. We're back in the locker room before the bout. My manager's there. Kid. Are you trained? You're the best I ever trained. You're tough, kid. You're mean. You're big. Whatever you do, kid, though. Ain't that small? Whatever you do, kid. Whatever you do, don't get in the pretzel. Okay. I'm like, don't get in the pretzel. Don't get in the pretzel. I can do that. So we go out to the match. 10 seconds go by. The Russian Bear's got me in the pretzel. My manager can't watch. He twings away. All of a sudden, there's a roar from the crowd. Not only have I broken out of the pretzel, I've got the Russian Bear on his back. They slap the mat back in the locker room. Kid, how'd you do it? 10 years, no one's ever broken out of the pretzel. How'd you do it? Well, I was starting to get dizzy. And he had my elbow and here, my foot up my head. I was just about to pass out. And above me, I saw the 2 biggest balls I've ever seen. So I bit them. And you don't know how strong you get when you bite your own balls. And before I leave, I thought this thing one time. I'm having a good time with this microphone. This one thing, I said, you know all those jokes about the guys who are handicapped? Okay, we'll pick on the handicapped a little more. And if all those people who had no arms and no legs and everything, and they had a different name for them, I said, well, what if you got them all in one room, sort of a lot like this, you know? And started talking to him. So I'm sitting there and I said, you know, what do you call a guy with no arms and no legs in the middle of a lake? So nobody seemed to know, so I turned to my friend Bob and I said, hey Bob, what do you call a guy with no arms and no legs in the middle of the ocean? He didn't know, so I turned to my friend Skip and I said, hey Skip, what do you call a girl with no arms and no legs that hits, what was that rubber boat bumper? A girl with no arms and no legs that gets hit by a car. He didn't know, so I turned to my friend Sue and I said, hey Sue, what do you call a guy with no arms and no legs from here down? She didn't know, so I turned to my friend Neil and I said, hey Neil, what do you call a guy with no arms and no legs at the front door? He didn't know, so I opened the front door and I said to my friend Matt and I said, hey Matt, what do you call a guy with no arms and legs in the bottom of a pit? He didn't know, so I turned to my friend Phil and I said, hey Phil, what do you call a guy with no arms and no legs nailed to the wall? He didn't know, so I turned to my friend Art and I said, hey Art. Nailed to the wall? Oh, it's going real good. So anyway, I said, what do you call a guy with no arms and no legs halfway down Tina Turner's throat? So they didn't know, so I turned to my friend Mike and I said, hey Mike, what do you call a guy with no arms and no legs halfway down Liberace's throat? He didn't know, so I turned to my friend Dick and I said, Dick, I gotta be going. Hey. Okay.
Right next to the comedy cavalcade is the next one to get up to the stage. It's a race.
Every night. We also have some celebrities from the Trentonian magazine, newspaper. I shouldn't really have a concussion too often. We have beautiful music from the 50s and 60s downstairs. After our next entertainer, we happen to have a man who played Dangerfields in New York. I played with him in New York too. If his mother ever finds out, I'm dead. One night it was Who's On First in New York City, and his name is Ken Bauer, and my name is Pat Carolyn. But he sat there and he stood there and he said, "Oh, I'm Ken, and there's Barbie." And then he was 20 years old at the time. I'm 40, you know, and he thought better of it. And he says, "I don't want all those people to say, you know, that this is my girlfriend. I mean, she shaves more than I do." So he said, "Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just kidding. This is not. She works with my mother." And I had the devil in me that night. I said, "Ken, I'm carrying your baby. How can you disown me like that?" Well, we're going to be bringing Ken up. Ken, you there? Yeah. Hey, all right, can I do one more? I forgot to tell everybody, I was in medical school one time. He was talking before, you know, and I was very good. I was able to cut up things. Always been sort of a cut-up. Well, we start cutting with the hands. That they get you used to it, you know. Start cutting the hand and the arm and the chest. And then you start cutting other things. And this is the day I am